there was an extraordinary, and we don't have time to play it because it's almost 8 minutes long, an extraordinary video that was played, like on the big screen, that was a tribute to all of the families who lost loved ones when those in Afghanistan, thanks to Joe Biden's piss poor withdrawal. And so all of the families were represented. They were holding photos and saying, I'm the voice for, my son, my daughter, my husband, my whoever they lost. And it was so moving. It was such an amazing video. Highly recommend that you go out and find that. But after the video was played, then all the families came out onto the stage, and some of them spoke. One of the women that spoke is the mother-in-law of Nicole G., one of those service members who died. She reminds me so much of Elizabeth Banks, by the way. That was like who I immediately connected her to. And the main point that these families wanted to make was not just about Trump and how much they appreciated his accessibility to them after they lost their loved ones. But Joe Biden has never once said their names out loud. Mm-hmm. Never. And why would he? In the debate, he didn't even remember that they died under his watch.
Well, he lied about it. He flat out lied about it, and he used them for a lie. And why would he say their names? Because he was responsible for their deaths.
Yeah. I mean, he's just such a piece of shit.
Right.
And so, Nicole G's mother-in-law, I think that's the right relationship. I hope I didn't screw that up. She spoke first, and the way that she says Nicole's name sets up what you're going to see in just a little bit. But first, here she is talking about her experience with Donald Trump.
I'm Christie Shamblin. My daughter-in-law, Sergeant Nicole Leanne G.
God bless her.
She's a United States Marine, and she was killed at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan, alongside 12 of her brothers and sister-in-arms. While Joe Biden has refused to recognize their sacrifice, Donald Trump spent 6 hours in Bedminster with us.
Wow.
He allowed us to grieve. He allowed us to remember our heroes. Donald Trump knew all of our children's names. He knew their stories, and he spoke to us in a way that made us feel understood, like he knew our kids. Donald Trump carried the weight for a few hours with me. And for the first time since Nicole's death, I felt I wasn't alone in my grief. Thank you.
I know. God.
I had expected to meet an arrogant politician. Instead, I met a man who had empathy for us. He was compassionate, and he spent time with us because he knew it would make us feel better. Thank you, President Trump.
I know, right? You guys.
There's more.
I know.
There's more.
Tissue.
I know.
Why?
Oh my God. Sorry. Okay. All right. Let's just compose ourselves, take a quick break.
Also, you guys, a lot of you are struggling with debt and whatnot, which, I mean, it's in this economy. Hello, it's happening. And you can get out of debt with Zero Debt USA. You can visit zapmydebt.com. They're going to walk you through it, and they will help you with all of that. So definitely check that out. zapmydebt.com. Do that.
Another family that spoke was the Lopez family who lost their son. And their purpose, in addition to obviously honoring their son, was to make sure to read all the names of those 13 service members out loud. And without prompting, the crowd joined in. And that is when
Oh my gosh, right?
Get the tissues, man. Get them. Because we're going to let this whole thing play. This is like 2.5 minutes, but we're not going to cut off any of the names,
'Cause
obviously.
You can't.
And so this was like, what a moment.
And the other service members' bodies were returned to the U.S. in Dover, Delaware. Joe Biden met the plane. But he made the occasion more about his son, lost to cancer, than our sons and daughters, lost on his watch. Worse than that, he has never said their names out loud. And during last month's debate, he claimed no service members have died during his administration. None. That hurt us all deeply. So Alicia and I are here to say the names of all 13 service members who lost their lives. All 13 service members who lost their lives at Abbey Gate. David Espinoza.
Oh my gosh.
Nicole G. Taylor Hoover. Ryan C. Knaus. Riley McCollum.
Oh my gosh.
Dylan Marola. Kareem Nakui. Dagan Page. Johanny Pichardo. Humberto Sanchez. Jared Schmitz. Maxton Soviak. And my son, Hunter Lopez.
I know. Oh my God.
I mean, can you even?
How can this administration say what they say? How can they say that? These are people. These were people.
And
These
he's
were-
ignored them completely.
Yeah. Just completely discarded them. It's so gross, you guys.
It was an extraordinary night. And what was even more extraordinary was the response by some of the mainstream media. And I'm talking about that in a positive way. So, for example, here is the response from one of the ABC reporters after that moment.
David, I'm not sure I've ever experienced anything like that at a convention. The connection between this crowd and those family members of the fallen was just absolutely extraordinary. The emotions, the call and response that the crowd started spontaneously. Never forget reciting and repeating the names as they were read out. And it wasn't just the compassion and the sorrow that linked the crowd and those speakers. It was the anger. I've been out here this afternoon talking to veterans, Vietnam-era veterans, Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, about the campaign in general. And without being prompted, they bring up Afghanistan and the sense of shame and anger that they felt for the country and in this campaign.
Yeah, but where were you during that time, Terry? You know what I mean? I appreciate him saying all those things right now. I appreciate ABC saying that, but where were they when it happened?
Listen, I'm relieved that they're saying what should be obvious, because I guarantee if we would switch to MSNBC, they would be either ignoring it completely. And I think they did. I think they actually went into the name reading to like have some comedian on or something, or make jokes. I mean, they're just despicable. But like some of the, the networks and then CNN, I felt like, holy crap, I'm actually surprised at their reactions. There was a guy on that same panel that we showed Scott Jennings with earlier. in that same panel, his name's David Urban, and he was pissed in a good way. And I was like, I cannot believe what I'm seeing on CNN.
This was an opportunity to.
It's just unforgivable. Okay, Hunter Lopez's father. When Anderson, I got choked up. His father's reading those names. Somebody who's went to West Point, served in the military, been deployed overseas, fought in the war. The fact that Joe Biden never met with those families, the fact that Joe Biden forgot that those kids died, is just unforgivable. The fact that the White House has never bothered to clean up or say we're sorry is just unforgivable. It's unforgivable to me as an American.
David, I've been to a lot of conventions. I've never seen anything this politically devastating done at a convention. I mean, they have proven to the American people that the commander-in-chief failed these families. If I were Joe Biden and I saw that tonight, I would resign my office, go outside, dig a hole, get in it, and not come out for a while.
He's right. He's absolutely right. I mean, what do you say to that? Chicken the Blue was just like,
right?
Yeah. What do you say to that? Because they're right. They're absolutely right.
You can't,
disgraceful.
There's no excuse that you can make that takes away what Biden did.